Welcome back to another video. It's Bradford v Mansfield Town match preview, eliminatory score predictions and thoughts going into the game in the comments down below. It's a huge game now. We thought that maybe we'd get a win against Forest Green, then we're going to Mansfield and you probably take a point. But now, you know, the games are slowing down and there's only a certain amount of wins that you can get until you get into the playoffs and pressure's on. So you are looking at maybe winning this game. Does it suit us more than playing against the bottom side in Forest Green? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. It is a tough game. They are top of the league, but they might come and play. You know, they're not going to come and take a point. They're not going to sit on a 1-0 for 90 minutes. Hopefully we don't concede in a minute again. But you know, I'm expecting a reaction and hopefully we get it. But let's get into the video. Leave a like if you did and subscribe if you're new as well. Heading towards 400 subscribers now. The key players coming into this one. Mansfield, again, there's a lot of teams in this division where you struggle to pick key players because they're absolutely abysmal and they're shockingly bad. But then there's some teams that you struggle to pick 3 key players because they are very good. You know, that they're above the quality that they're at, and you find it hard. You know, you could go for the full 11, but Mansfield do have weaknesses, and we'll get into that into what can we expect. But Davis Kelly-Dunn's a phenomenal player at this level, and you know we mustn't give him time, we mustn't give him space. You know, a lot of his goals have come from similar ranges that Jake Youngs did against for Swindon. You know, he reminds me of that type of player. Gets the ball, turns into space, quick touches, and gets his shots off. And he's scored some absolutely banging goals this season. So we can't give him space. We can't let him turn. And otherwise he'll punish us. You know, he has got 18 goals this season, and he's a player of real quality. He was dropped in midweek though, which left a lot of Mansfield fans absolutely baffled at Nigel Clough as to why he did that, and they did obviously go on to lose as well. Louis Reed, really neat, tidy player. He's completed 1,800 plus passes and 2,700 plus touches as well this season, as that sort of deep lying midfielder who takes the ball off the back three. Sometimes he settles into a back three when they've got the ball. You know, fantastic player who's got real quality on the ball and possesses that. But it's not just safe passes, he has also created 35 chances, but he's got a bit of bite to him as well, which you need. Obviously, there's a lot of players in this division who I always compare to Elliot Watt, these sort of players, for us, you know, to put into your context, because fantastic players on the ball, but don't always back it up with defensive ability. But Louis Reed has done this season. 38 tackles, 61 interceptions. So he has got a bit of bite to him, and you know, definitely he's one of their better technically gifted players, no doubt, for Mansfield. And Aidan Flint, this one I struggle with a bit more because there's a lot of players of that sort of quality. For me, they're the 2 standouts for Mansfield. But you've got Aidan Flint, you've got Lucas Akins, you've got Will Swan, who's a prolific goal scorer at this level. You know, so many other players, Maris as well. You know, even the Quinn, the midfielder. You know, they've got so many good players. But Flint just edges it. He hasn't really been on it recently, coming back from a shoulder injury. So that's something we can target, and I think we can always target. Teams can always target against Aidan Flint his lack of pace, and recently he's been playing a bit of a more advanced position in the centre-back pairing. But he has still won 309 aerials, duels, which is phenomenal, and he's a good distributor of the ball as well. So, you know, he's got that quality. He's played at a high level, but he's definitely got weaknesses to his play as well. So after key players, you know, we've gone on for about 4 minutes there about key players. We'll move into the results for the last 5 games of both sides. They're coming off the back of a 2-1 defeat in midweek to Tranmere, which was a shock defeat to say the least. A 3-2 win against Swindon that they had to scrap for and just got over the line. Before that was a 2-1 defeat to MK Dons, a 1-0 win against Newport, and a 5-1 thumping against Salford City. We've come off the back of a 2-0 defeat to Forest Green Rovers in midweek, a 3-0 win against Accrington on Saturday, a 1-1 draw to Doncaster after our 2-week game without a game, and that were to Wickham a 1-0. But if in the league, obviously lost, we beat Sutton 1-0, and we beat MK Dons 4-0 before that. So it's shaky form for both sides. Going back top of the league, it's put a bit more pressure on them, and I feel like you know, maybe they've got a bit more complacent with that. And after all, they are perennial bottlers. Home and away form, we've only had 3 home wins under Graham Alexander: Accrington, MK Dons and Sutton in the league. We're 18th in home form with 26 points and only 6 wins throughout the course of the season. And to make you feel a bit better about that, they had a first in the away form table with 33 points and 9 away wins. Nigel Clough, he's a decent manager at this level. I think he's a bit overrated, to be fair, because of his dad, and did a fairly good job at Burton first time around, but he always gets big jobs and gets a lot of time as well, and sometimes don't always back it up. And I think, like I just said earlier, winding up a bit to be fair, that they are perennial bottlers, and that is mainly down to Nigel Clough. He's had a lot of money to spend, and they didn't even make the playoffs last season. They always seem to fall at the final hurdle, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did that again this season. When you look at the teams at the top of the League 2 table, there's teams who are doing well, and I'd back them to maybe keep their run going. And Mansfield, you always feel like they're going to have a bad run and maybe fall away at the end, and I won't be surprised if they did that again. But on Nigel Clough, he's the 4th longest serving manager in the EFL. He's only been there about 3 years. That goes to show how bad the owners are at the EFL level. I mean, it helps with your John Coleman's, your Matt Gray's getting sacked this season. They were above him. And other managers as well getting sacked. That does help him in that. But I mean, that's just crazy. He's only managed 193 games as well at Mansfield, and you know what? That is a hell of a long time. The current climate, if you can last 3-4 years at a club and not even get them promoted, and get backed, that is good going. So well done to Mansfield for sticking with him and trusting the project, because I know we certainly wouldn't. Against Graham Alexander, he's had 1 win, 2 draws and 2 defeats. And against Bradford City, 3 wins, 5 draws and 5 defeats. Head-to-head's back, but for a brief second, it's not back as it was, because it was a bit bland, to be honest with you. I found it boring. I don't know if you did. And to be honest with you, it's just to bring up Cook against Mansfield, to be honest with you. He's got 3 goals in his last 8 games against Mansfield, but all those goals against Mansfield have come for us against them. And he only scored 1 goal in 14 games for Nigel Clough, and he's always got a bad word to say about him, and so have the Mansfield fans. So I won't be surprised if we did beat them and Andy Cook scored. Actually, I'm going to go with my prediction now. 1-0 City, Andy Cook, 87th minute winner. And that would be unbelievable, to say the least. What can we expect then from this Mansfield side and from the game as a whole? Hopefully we'd set up deep, we counter them, not too deep, sort of a mid to low block. We do get at them and press them, and we counter them with pace on the break. I think that's our best chance of winning. They've averaged 53% possession this season. They do like to get the ball down and play through the thirds, but they're not afraid to go long towards Akins and Swan and go direct. But they do like to get the ball down. We've got to keep it tight. We've got, like I said earlier, we've got to play how it suits us. It didn't suit us having 70% possession against Forest Green last night, Tuesday night, whenever it bleeding was. So we've got to roughen them up. We've got to make the game scrappy. We've got to target their wide areas. We've got to get runners from midfield, and we've got to shoot. When that chance opens up, we've got to shoot, because they have conceded so many goals this season from not getting out to shots. Their keeper's shocking. They let players come in from wide areas, like I said earlier, and they let runners run through midfield too easily. That's got to be an area of target, because it's been an area where they've had a big downfall throughout the season, more recently as well. And then quickly, ref watch Martin Coy. He refereed the Accrington Cup game earlier on in the season, a 0-0 draw against Stockport and a 1-0 defeat to Accrington in the FA Cup. They're his last 3 games against us, which ain't great. We did win on penalties against Accrington, didn't we? But that's not great, to say the least. And then listen to this. League 2 games. He's only refereed 8 League 2 games, and he's handed out 42 yellow cards in 8 League 2 games. I mean, I don't know if that's just me, but that just seems absolutely ridiculous. 1 red card in there as well. It were 2 yellows, surprise, surprise. V City, 13 games in his spell. That is one of the most he's refereed against. 4 wins for us, 1 draw, and we've lost 8 times when he has refereed, giving out 19 yellows to us. He has yet to send off a Bradford City player. Touch wood, I haven't said all bad about that. He's not refereed a 0-0 this season either, so there you go. Don't blame me if it's 0-0 and we get a red card, but do blame me if we win 1-0 and Andy Cook scores in the 87th minute. So my 11 then for Saturday night, hopefully the game goes ahead as well. I hadn't even mentioned that. Rain is expected in Bradford, so hopefully our pitch can hold up and we get a game on. Samuel Walker in goal. Hopefully he can bounce back from Tuesday's defeat and not a great performance. Jonathan Tompkinson in the back three as well. Samuel Stubbs joining in with Kieran Kelly. Hopefully Stubbs is back because I can't do with Liam Rideout playing in a back three again, and hopefully Kelly gets back to his good form as well. Bradley Halliday as well in right wing back. Hopefully he didn't have a great game Tuesday either, so hopefully he gets back to where he was. Lewis Richards in left wing back. I thought he was one of the standouts on Tuesday night. Richard Smallwood and Alexander Gilead in the midfield pairing. Like I said, we need to get runners in their midfield, and hopefully the energy of Gilead will provide that. I hope he gets a few shots off in this game. Something he hasn't really done recently. That's an area we need to target, and Gilead's at the centre of that. And Smallwood, hopefully, he don't do well with the ball for me, and hopefully he gets stuck into a few flying tackles in that midfield. Clark Odra, for me, again, a lot of the whole team didn't have a good game going. Hopefully he comes back to form. Hopefully no one had a good game, but hopefully Odra, like the rest of the team, can get back to what they were performing like before Tuesday night. Adam Wilson in the sort of left number 10 position. I feel like we need pace on the break. I feel like Tariq Wright's been nowhere near good enough, in my opinion. I know it's a bit of a divider. I know Simon Parker gave him man of match. I know a lot of fans have liked him, and I've given him a bit of stick. SHD did as well in the 6 Things We Learned. If you haven't watched that, go and watch it. But yeah, it's a divider. But for me, I can't see him. I can't see how he starts, but I know that he will. Adam Wilson, the only player who else has pace on the break in that sort of area, is him. I want to play Tyler Smith with myself, looking at it. Bobby Poynton, not really a pacey player. Chapman, neither, more technical players, them too. And obviously Kavanagh's now on international duty, so hopefully Wilson starts and he takes his chance like he did when he come off the bench against Doncaster. And then who else but Andy Cook up front, like I say. Hopefully he can get a goal and send Mansfield home to a 1-0 defeat. That's my prediction. So yeah, let me know your predictions in the comments down below. Let me know your team. Let me know your thoughts just going into a game as well. Like the video if you did, and subscribe if you're new as well. We're heading towards 400 subscribers. All the support is massively appreciated. Have a good one.